What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'll wait for people to kind of trickle in here. And there is some stuff I want to talk about today. Hope everybody's doing okay today, enjoying their Tuesday. Let's get him situated. Let's make him look a little bit better than he is already. And he doesn't have to do much to look good. He really doesn't. Brenda, what's going on? Woodman, how you doing? Jossie, how you doing, buddy? Them guts. How's it going, bud? Glad you guys are popping in so we could all hang out. Because this isn't just my rant. This is kind of a discussion for all of us to have, too. And I'm not really trying to piggyback off of other people right now with a lot about what I'm going to say. I initially had recorded about a half an hour rant earlier, and I accidentally deleted it, which is completely on me. So I said, screw it. I'm just going to do a live stream and just talk about this stuff with everybody. And this isn't really anything that I haven't discussed before. And it kind of, it helps, or I shouldn't say it helps. It makes me giggle a little bit when, it doesn't make me giggle in a sarcastic way. It makes me giggle in the fact that, me, Strident, Soldrum 86, Jossie, them guts. We've all been saying this stuff. Even Action Figure Addict, Kyle, Scabcat. We've all been saying this stuff for years and years and years and years. Over a decade now, Strident and I have been making videos about this stuff, and it's finally catching on, which is great and all. That's fantastic that we're starting to finally be a little bit more self-aware of poor business practices by large companies. And that's a good thing. But I want to say in the end all be all, the mistakes are still being made. And I'm not just talking about Hasbro here, because it's Mattel too. It's just about every large toy company that you can fathom nowadays that exists. And I'm talking about the big ones. Hasbro's over an $11 billion toy company. Put that in words. Write it down, and then maybe sometimes when you write stuff down, it helps you realize things a little bit faster, a little bit easier. Just jot that down, or just really kind of use it as a mantra in your head. Every time Hasbro comes out with a product, and you're on the fence, and you look at some of their past products that they've come out with, and you tell yourself, wow, oh man, that looks so great. And then when you get it in hand every single time, what happens? It's never up to the expectation. It's never going to meet expectations. And I get that. That's a lot of things in life. A lot of things don't meet that expectation at the end of the day. We build things up in our head a certain way. Same thing goes for movies, the movie industry. We build movies up in our head, and the movies are supposed to be a certain expectation. We were expecting it to be one way and ended up being a completely different. We don't like it. Nowadays, things are handled a little bit differently, where there's so much backlash that it's like the end of the world's happening. And no one's allowed to have an opinion anymore. It's all about, negating opinions and just going to blame town immediately. There's no more you're innocent until proven guilty. It's you're guilty until proven innocent. That's the world we live in now. Like, yes, enjoy my joy. We live in a very fanatical world nowadays. And I'm going to touch on some of the toy stuff that's been out. Obviously, the Sentinel with HasLab, but it's like, why are we even discussing the HasLab stuff at this point? Because it's like every time they do something, people don't like it, and if you if we don't like it, then just ignore it and don't buy it, and then it'll go away. I feel like I've been saying this for years, and I have, and it just gets tiresome. And this is the harsh reality. The harsh reality about things like HasLab is that they're not going to go anywhere. They're really not, and that's the harsh reality. Because most people, no matter how much sorry, I burped, that was weird. How much, no matter how much awareness you build about something, nothing ever gets done because people at the end of the day don't care enough to get it done. There are some people that do care. And you see those people and you know those people. But at the end of the day, nothing changes because not enough people care enough to get anything done. The people that bought the HasLab Sentinel that got screwed over with this horrible quality control and the horrible knees and the fact that almost a $400 figure can't stand up, which is just the basic thing that this Batman's doing right here. It's the bare minimum that you could ask for an action figure to do is to stand. Is just to stand there. It cannot accomplish that. And the fact that they can't do that, and then people are going to, despite all of this, going to probably ignore it or turn a blind eye to it and move on and just purchase more. Because that's what most people do. They realize that something's wrong, but they're like, oh, I'll just buy another one anyway. I don't care. They're still going to perpetuate the cycle because most people think that they're smarter than the company. And that's where they're wrong because they continue to make the same mistake over and over and over again. I don't need to explain the definition of what insanity is, excuse me, because we see it on a day-to-day basis. We see poor products being given to us for higher prices or mediocre products staying the exact same for over 10 years and the prices keep going up and it's inflation. We get less and we pay more. And I'm not even talking about toys. This is everything now. Everything is pay more, get less. It's like the opposite of pay less shoes. Pay less, get more. That was their slogan from back in the day. It's the opposite now. We're paying more and we're getting less. It's part of insanity. And the fact that the masses won't change any of this. They just won't change it. Because they don't want to feel bad about whatever product they purchased, and they don't want to admit that they're wrong for purchasing that product and it being not up to their expectations or just general expectations. They don't want to feel bad about their purchase, therefore, they will defend it. And you see it every time. You see it every day. You see it every post, every Facebook post, every YouTube post. You see it all the time, beaten over your head. This is great. That is great. This is great. And no one actually tells it like it is. No one's saying the thing that needs to be said, which is, this is enough. Enough is enough, no more. No more. They don't want to say no more because they feel bad about their bad decision making. They use this term and they use it generally in corporate settings, and that's accountability. So many of these sheeple, these people that love to defend Mattel and Hasbro and feed into their, ridiculous prices and their ridiculous everything. And it's not just Hasbro, and it's everything. Anything that is a corporation. People feed into it, they latch onto it like a leech, and they suck it for everything it's worth. They can't not say no to it because it's something that they like or represents something that they like. You can like something without having to get all of the things that is that thing. You don't need to get all of the things. It's like we live in a world full of spoiled brats, and they act like they didn't get anything. They don't understand what it's like to not have anything when you're growing up. You can't sit here and tell me that, just as an example, that no one wants to give any accountability, and Hasbro won't give accountability. You saw it on their live stream when they had the fucking Sentinel sitting there and they didn't say anything about it. And now they're going to come out with a Rancor. Those knees aren't going to work. I bet you the Galactus knees don't work either. And what's so funny about all of this is they put ratchet joints in all of their Transformers Titan series. And I know because I have 3 of them. It's like stupidity leak after stupidity leak. And I don't own a Sentinel. I don't care to own one. I don't own anything from HasLab. I own 3 Titans from the Titan series, and that's it. And those were all retail. I paid, what was it? I got Fort Max on sale for $75, and I paid $150 for Omega Supreme. And I have, who else? Who else do I have? Who is the third? Oh, what's wrong with me? Scorponok. Same price. And they're not that much taller than the Sentinels. I know is a little bit taller, but it's not a ridiculous amount more where it justifies a $400 price point. And what are you exactly getting out of that anyway? And 2 extra heads and what? How many display options do you need for a toy that's essentially going to stand there? Oh, wait, it can't. It can't stand there. So we're going to have it lying on the ground or sitting down constantly? What are we doing here? I don't understand why people repeatedly get abused and come back for more. And I'm not saying I don't understand because I actually don't. I'm using that as an example as to further my point, which is stop doing these harmful things to yourself. It's like going back to an abusive relationship over and over and over again. It's like, you know what? If you want to watch something like that, go watch fucking Teen Mom. Go watch an MTV show or something. Go watch 16 and Pregnant or one of those, you know? If you want to see people getting constantly abused and coming back for more abuse, go for that. Then go for it. Watch some garbage TV. You'll get your kicks and you don't have to spend a lot of money. It just perpetuating the cycle and making it worse for everyone else doesn't help anything. And yes, people can spend their money any way they want, but in this day and age, and pretty much forever, you know, nobody reads Consumer Reports anymore, which is a shame. No one even really takes the reviewer seriously because now you have them split, where before you had everyone saying everything is awesome and it's all sunshine and rainbows. And those reviewers still exist, unfortunately. There's a lot of those. Everything is awesome bullshit. And then you have the people that are just saying, oh, well, they're just being hateful for being hateful. No, they're finally pointing out. They're finally getting people with a larger audience, finally, that are saying things now. And I'm starting to see the people that were saying everything is awesome are trying to piggyback off of the people that are being original and having an original idea now. They're starting to look, everything is awesome people are all saying what the quote negative people, which is not negative, it's calling it like it is. They're starting to copy off of them now. Where everything was awesome before, now you're starting to be fake and act just like everyone else is now. So it's there's an extreme face palming moment here. And I don't want to go off on a tangent on reviewers because I could go off on a tangent all day about fake ass YouTube channels and all of that stuff. But I don't want to sit here, and that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is Where does the line be drawn? Where is the line drawn? Excuse me. I'm talking backwards. Where is the line drawn in the sand? Where is that? Do people see the line? No. I don't think they do. I think they keep just pushing more sand over it. Because at some point, enough has to be enough. And at some point, this all has to end. Collecting can't go on forever. There's only so much room you have. There's only so much stuff that can be made of the same stuff over and over again. Normally, what I do, and I'm not saying you have to do exactly what I do to make anyone happy, when I purchase something, I normally will sell something else to purchase that thing if I can't afford it. That's usually what I do. If I can't afford it, after all the bills are paid, after all the responsibilities are taken care of, I usually will sell something that I had already owned that I don't care that much about anymore to purchase the thing that I want. Perfect example is why he's here. This MDX Sovereign Knight Batman, the Onyx. Not a lot of people like it. That's fine. It's not for you. It's for me. You know, he's shiny. I like him. This is my '89 Batman. This is what I think about in, what was it, even the early '90s comics where he wore the all black, very similar to the Keaton. I remember reading comics with him like this, and when it came out, I missed the pre-order. Why? Because everything was sold out, of course, because that's how everything works nowadays. So I had to search the secondary market. I found a proper seller. I had to sell a bunch of figures to get him. Okay? I had to pay a premium. I just had to. That's where the market is right now. And nothing I can do about it. I didn't pay $100 and $200 for them. No, absolutely not. But I spent money on previous things. I sold those previous things to purchase the thing that I want now. And I think that's what makes sense. This constant cycle of I got to have all of the things it's very unhealthy. I see a lot of unhealthy practices and people preaching unhealthy things to other collectors that are either new or just don't know any better. Find a way to just buy it. Who cares? I've seen other collectors telling them, go into debt if you have to get that thing. That's not what you tell people. Ethically, and just even as something as a human being, don't tell people to go into debt to buy a flag, to buy the Terrordrome. Like, don't do that. That's irresponsible as a human being, as an adult, to tell other people that are less experienced than you to do something. You want to steer people in the right direction, but that's not most people. Another prime example is this right here. Just received this in the mail today. This is a lovely piece. Let me just scoop Batman out of the sec. Wait for a second. This is the DC McFarlane Bat Cycle. This is from I haven't read the series, the White Knight series cycle. This is like around $24, I think. $24, and this thing is absolutely humongous. And let me just put this in perspective for you, because these are around, I want to say around 7 feet tall as a Mythic Legion. This is in scale with a Mythic Legion. Like, these are in scale with all the McFarlane figures, and I'm not here trying to sell the cycle, because I'm going to do a separate review on this guy, but around the $20 price point for a cycle. Now, if this were any other company, if this were Hasbro, this thing would be $45 or $50. And we all know this. This is not me just talking shit. This is the truth. This is going to be my Sovereign Knight Batman cycle. That's what this is going to be. And it has features. It does have a feature to it, which I'll get to in the review, but it can shorten, it can lengthen. There's actual working shocks in there. There's not a lot of paint detail on here, but that's okay. You know, if you're so inclined, you can use some paint and give it a nice good wash. But my point is, if any of this stuff were outside. And you see McFarlane doing this. He's sticking to that $20 price point, where all the other companies are going to $24.99, or they're going to more and more and more and more. If one company can stay at a price, why can't all the companies stay at that price? If Fortnite can stay at the $20 price point, why can't every company do that too? And what's a shame is I saw Michael French's Retro Blastings video earlier today about the Sentinel, and there's a lot of good points that he made, absolutely. A ton of stuff, usually, that he says I do agree with. You know, there's not everything, I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with the majority of things that he says, especially about the toy industry. And especially about scalpers, and especially about the toy community. And sub communities, you know. And I'm not trying to piggyback off of that, but he brought in a $20 vehicle, which is 3 3/4 inch. This is a 6-inch vehicle that was $20, almost the same price. And I think I had some extra points. I think I paid $16 for this. I had like $10 off because they screwed up in order, whatever. Anyway, I'm not trying to get into all the semantics of my purchases, but I'm trying to just explain something and put things in perspective for you guys that we're still getting used and abused by major toy companies. And Mattel's no saint either. Mattel has had horrible business practices in the past. Do I have to bring up the Club Infinite Earths line? Do I have to bring up the Motu Classics line? Do I have to bring up the fact that we have people that were formerly running that toy line telling people that, well, the only way that we could sell it was online only? Bullshit. Why is Motu being sold in retail? Motu's been sold in retail now for about a year. Okay? There's no reason that they couldn't have been sold back then with the Classics line back then as well. It's the fact that these companies need to make these boneheaded decisions because they don't know any better. And they have people in the positions that don't know any better. This is bad leadership. This is bad leadership corporation 101 shit. This is non-negotiable. This whole thing is non-negotiable. It's not really a debate. You can see the bad business practices being used all the time. And people making excuses as to why they had to be used for that. No, you're not making excuses because that's what actually happened. You're making excuses because that was your decision to make back then. And people are falling for it. Well, he knows what he's talking about. No, he doesn't. No, because we've been told the opposite by guys like Bobby Valla that have worked in the toy industry before. At least we have a guy like Bobby to rebuttal these things. To say, yeah, that's hogwash. That's a good thing. More people need to do that. Grow some balls and be a man and do it. And I know you guys haven't seen this much fire come out of me in a long time, but it gets tiresome seeing this shit constantly, and then people making excuses for just the same crap over and over again. And I understand that these are just toys and they're supposed to make us happy, but I mean, how happy is everyone right now? With everything getting more expensive and being harder to get, how I don't see a lot of happy people online. I have news for you. I don't see a whole lot of happy people. I see a lot of just upset, angry, disappointed people constantly. Whether it's on a forum, whether it's on a website, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on wherever. It just seems like people are pissed off. And the only way that your anger is going to get actually across to any company, which they still won't care, is if you hurt their pocketbook. And that's the only way. It's like when WWE, and I know I always give up wrestling reference because I just love wrestling. I don't like WWE right now, and I haven't watched it in about 2 years, but I still love pro wrestling. I have the fondness for it. I love it, and I always give it an example because I know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling. It's like when WWE was trying to always push an agenda with a character, whether it was Lex Luger, or whether it was Roman Reigns, or whether it was Batista, or whoever was their idea of a guy, and it wasn't working with the fans, and the fans were giving backlash. Even Cena, big backlash guy. And I think outside, Cena's grown a lot better than some of the other people. And I'm not a big Cena guy, but anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that whenever there's a fan backlash, they don't listen. They still continue to perpetuate what they're going to do. They have an idea, they have a scheme because they are schemers. And that's the road that they're going to go down, regardless of whether what the fans think or not. Occasionally you'll get a Daniel Bryan, you'll get a victory here and there, but that's still few and far between. Because they'll fight you tooth and nail about it. And then they'll let you know they're not happy about it by barely giving you what you want. All corporations are like this across the board. Across the board. Because they are talentless. Most corporate people are talentless, thoughtless, almost subhuman people. How can I get richer off of other people? How can I maintain my riches off of other people? How can I make cheaper decisions so I get richer at the end of the day? And this continues to go on. This continues to go on because people turn a blind eye to it on a consistent basis. And the more you turn a blind eye to something, the more it's going to continue. Until you affect their pocketbooks, it's never going to change. It's really never going to change. And I'm not just speaking to the people that are subscribed to me. I'm speaking to mostly the people making the perpetual bad decisions. It really gets frustrating when you have to see, and you'll see corporations constantly struggling. Like look at Hasbro; it's still struggling. As successful as they are, they still struggle with putting the proper packaging together or putting the proper artistry to match the character in the box, or vice versa. Putting the wrong figure with the wrong artwork on the outside. They can't even get that right. They can't get that right. And it happens constantly. And these aren't mistakes that and Mattel's notorious for it too, because the WWE Elite line has been a disaster when it comes to reading stats on the back of the card. And maybe some people don't care about the card, but it matters to me as a wrestling fan. And most people buying the wrestling figures are wrestling fans, and it matters. Getting the stats wrong on the back of the package, not having the correct attire, can't put knee pads on a figure, can't get the proper attires to match on the packaging as well as the figure card, can't get original packaging photos from the original time when you could just basically go on YouTube or you can go on Google and find the shit. Like these are major toy companies making stupid ass mistakes that don't need to be made, period. If you own a license, you should have people backing that license that know what the fuck they're doing. Not some idiot from the mailroom that just his uncle happened to be a CEO, Like, oh, we'll just make Billy the next, he'll run the lead for Marvel Legends and just screw it all up for everyone. That's what we get. That's what we have. We have people running the G.I. Joe class. I don't care about the classifieds line. We have people running the classifieds line that have no idea what they're doing. And it's blatant. Because they keep flip-flopping as to what kind of direction they want to go. They can't figure out if they want to go modern. They can't figure out if they want to go futuristic. They can't figure out if they want to go classic. So let's just do it all, guys. And then when they screw up, they don't even admit that they screwed up. And they just continue to do the same befuddled shit. It's just... They just don't care. And they don't they will continue not to care as long as you give them money. Same thing goes for the video game realm. Video games, EA can't get Madden right. I'm a big football fan. They can't get Madden right. They can't do it because they're lazy. And they keep telling people that they're going to do better and they're going to do, oh, well, this year it's going to feel totally different and the crowd's going to look different and the sideline character's going to look different and all this, and this. And they can't even create a team in it. That was already in the game back in 2013 or 12 or 13. They can't bring that and put that back in. But we got to pay to buy an athlete, pay to buy a football player, so we can have the Madden Ultimate Team. Nobody gives a shit about Madden Ultimate Team. Nobody wants to pay for the continued same thing over and over and over again. But yet Madden comes out every year and it's the same game every year. Even the cutscenes have been the same for 4 years straight. That is ridiculous. That's like a t-shirt company only making the same t-shirt for 4 years straight and never changing the design or logo. Could you imagine this Batman coming out for 4 years straight? Do you know how sick of that Batman you would be? Regardless of how cool you think it is. If this came out only for Mezco for 4 years straight, you'd be annoyed with it, wouldn't you? There'd be a ton of them, and no one would want them, right? Yes. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. And all of these big companies do it. It really does go beyond toys. It's almost everything now. There's no care in our products anymore. It'd be like a car company making the same car for 15 years straight. The same car, same model, same chassis, same engine, same everything for 15 years straight. That would be the equivalent of something being a video game being made 4 years in a row and it's exactly the same. Even has the previous year's logos in the game. Yes. No shit. I shit you not. You will find Madden 19 logos in Madden 20. It's been going on for years, if you guys didn't know about this. And it's not just about that. There's a whole lot of other things that are just wrong. The Madden 22 doesn't even work, apparently. I don't own any of the games, but I know this. It's facts. Like, it's happened to other people that have bought the game. But that's part of this cycle, is that, it's getting close, man. Like, it's getting really close to me saying, screw it, I'm done. Like, I'm really getting close to, like, I'm done. I'm really done. And I honestly, I haven't, what was it? The last, I don't know. I don't know. This is just it's so stupid that we have to constantly do the same thing over and over again. Or constantly seeing the same thing done over and over again. When you have other companies that are doing better things and they're a quarter the size of a Hasbro or a Mattel. Joy Toy's been around for longer than people think, but at least they're doing original ideas. They're giving original, different ideas, and they do have variety there. I'm not saying they're perfect because some of their quality control stuff sucks, but at least it's a breath of fresh air. There's a lot of other companies that put a lot of pride and joy into their products. When I can see dollar store figures having more original ideas or better quality paint apps than a Hasbro action figure. What does that tell you? It's just a really stupid time to be a collector. It really is. And I'm not saying this because I'm sure I'm going to get someone in the comments, and like a year from now, that wants to actually me and say, well, if you don't like it, you don't have to collect. I'm going to get some idiot that says that, because there's always that idiot that exists. So I want to preemptively call that person an idiot, because that's what they are. It's just, it's something that I needed to get off my chest and talk about, and start looking harder. And I'm not speaking to the people that already see this happening, but I'm saying start looking harder into what is actually necessary for yourself. What is your goal at the end of the day? And I've been saying this for years. You should have collecting goals. You know, yeah, if you have life goals and things you want to accomplish, make some goals for yourself collecting wise, and that could help. That could help you. I just, I'm just over seeing the same shit. The same people complain, but yet same people spending $400 on a product that's really lackluster. It was lackluster before the issues that it has with the legs, and it's even more lackluster now. Like it's sorry, I haven't really been paying to any attention to. Well, I've been doing this whole rant, so I do want to talk to you guys. Yeah, I agree. Deb Gut says you can get a Gundam with the same features for way less. Exactly. Woodman says, and the large YouTube channels are getting crap for free, talking them up, and then the viewers eating them up like ice cream. It's true. It's been going on for years. Sure. And I just want to thank Mezco for sending me this sample. Bullshit. You got that shit for free, son. I was not born yesterday. But yet you're supposed to be an objective reviewer. Okay. Sure, bud. Sure. Rich says, I don't listen to Scott. He's talking about Scott Knightlick. Um, uh, I don't listen to Scott. He just thinks Motu can't sell despite what you see now. Exactly. You should call him Scott Buttlick. You know, he just licks that Mattel booty. I stopped collecting. Carter Daly says, I stopped collecting Star Wars figures 2 years ago because of how poor they handle the 3 3/4 inch line. All all in my opinion, though. Well, yeah. I mean, they definitely put the 3 3/4 inch line on the back burner. Sure, they release figures for it, but it's not as important to them as the 6 inch line. You know. Sorry if I'm tapping the screen here. I should be using my tablet, but I'm not. Terry says, I've been buying cheap stuff that I missed out on. Just got my G.I. Joe Snarler cycle the day before yesterday. Nice. Woodman says, it's a two-part problem. Greedy large companies and the scum of the earth scalpers, in my opinion. Well, it's scalpers, yeah, sure. I mean, and the scalpers are going to exist regardless of whether something is a Kickstarter or not. Whether it's HasLab or not, they're still gonna buy 12 Sentinels or 12 Galactuses and sell them regardless of whether there's an issue, whether the figure doesn't work. They're still going to do that. They're still going to make things worse for people because they have that aftermarket. And the real issue is that people think, now there was a market before eBay. Before eBay existed, there was a market, right? And it all went per seller. Each seller that owned something before the, God forbid, if anybody remembers the days before eBay existed, you would go to a seller and they would give you a price, right? They would give you their price, and then you would negotiate. There's no negotiations anymore. I don't know why eBay even has the best offer, because no one ever takes the best offer. No one is willing to negotiate anymore. The bartering system is dead. It's dead. It's horribly dead unless you go to like a. Sometimes you'll get lucky, maybe like a toy show if you get a good seller. But I've even gone to toy shows before, even at Joe Fest. People weren't really willing to barter. I had one guy tell me, "Oh yeah, come at the last day and maybe I'll drop the price on it." I was like, "Go fuck yourself, dude. Who do you think you are?" I'm just going. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope to God that the figure's still there, and it was still sitting there. No one bought it, and he didn't want to drop the price. Ended up finding the price cheaper anyway. I didn't buy from him. It's like, screw you, dude. Like, who do you think you are? Like, you could either just why don't you just tell me no? At that point, just tell me no. I don't want anything to do with you. If you're gonna be a dick, you know. Oh, just come back on the last day and maybe I'll drop the price. Yeah, well, maybe you can go to hell. Zorpak says these corporations deem themselves blameless. It's easier to blame the fans. Exactly. Oh, well, they didn't buy it. They didn't buy it, so we can't make it. Or this will never sell in retail, so we have to do a Kickstarter for it. No, Kickstarter is meant for small companies to build up. Not for a big company that can do whatever it wants, whenever the fuck it wants. Just ask for money from fans for it. They already have the money to produce the toy. They don't need people to crowdfund it. I don't know how many times I have to tell people this. It's like, ugh. It's like watching someone sit there and eat a shit sandwich. It's like, I just want to stop and tell you that's not turkey. That you're eating a turd. And it doesn't matter if I tell them they're eating a shit. Hey, man, you're eating a shit sandwich, bud. Stop chewing on that. Doesn't that smell weird? Oh, no, it smells great to me. Hasbro made it. It's delicious. You sure it's not turkey? Woodman says, remember the good old Kenner toys with the instructions clearly saying, we really do care. Never see that really, sadly. Yeah, you don't. You know, customer service now, now everyone uses the excuses, and this is the other thing that corporations love using this excuse. They love taking mom and pop ideas and making it their own. They love this shit. They get off. I swear they get off on this. They're like, well, okay, number one, we don't want to have negativity in our company, okay? So, if anyone's negative, fire them immediately under being negative. Being negative. If anyone wants to question something that makes more sense, if they have a better idea, just tell them they're being negative, so then you can write them up. This is what corporate companies do. Blame it on blame it on people, blame it on everybody else. We didn't do anything wrong. We never admit anything wrong. And customer service doesn't even want to answer the phones anymore, and that's the other excuse that they make. Well, we can't hire anybody. No one wants to work. No, you just don't want to pay people to work. You want to pay them minimum wage or $10 an hour. Guess what? People can't live on $10 an hour or minimum wage. Minimum wage hasn't been changed since 2009, for Obama's first term. 2009. Do the math. Yeah. People can't even, and beyond minimum wage, they can't live on $10. Some people can scrap along on 15, and that's tough. I don't think the companies care to raise prices. They don't. Or care to raise wages, because they don't. More money in the CEO's pocket at the end of the day. but they can't use that excuse. But they do, because mom and pop companies started using that excuse with COVID, saying, well, no one wants to work right now. We're going to have to close our doors because we can't afford anybody, or they don't want to work for this wage and they'd rather stay on unemployment. And that excuse worked when people were getting $900 a week. But they're not getting $900 a week anymore, so they can't really use that excuse. Soul Drum, what's up, buddy? He chimed in and says, because of how frustrating collecting is now, it's forced me to be more picky than I ever was. Don't buy nearly as much much and most of the WWE Elite Legends. Yeah, I really don't either. I bought Kama, and that was it. Tim Costa says, I haven't purchased any HasLab products. That's probably a good thing, buddy. And I'm not saying to the people that have purchased the HasLab product that you're really the enemy, unless just learn from your mistakes. If this was your first time buying a product and it's a failure, try to do better and try to make better financial decisions in the future, for yourself. Unless you're just happy with shit that doesn't work. Speaking of eBay, I made my offer on a piece and they countered $1 cheaper than the asking price. Seriously? Greed happens a lot. Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. You'll see that a lot, especially with higher end products. There's no point. I even sent people messages saying, what was the point of you even putting a best offer if you're just gonna offer me, $1 cheaper. One guy offered me 1 cent cheaper, and I was like, "Go!" I sent him a message, just go screw yourself. At that point, I don't even want to see your 1 cent counter offer. Tim Costa says, I own a restaurant and people, servers, waiters, and only want to get paid cash so they can collect unemployment. Thanks to Comrade Biden. Well, I get the frustration. I worked in I used to run a restaurant myself. I was the kitchen manager to start off, and then I was the general manager of a restaurant for years. And it's not an easy industry to be in. Restaurant industry is very fickle. Customers can be very fickle. Distributors can be very fickle. It's just not a very easy industry to be in. And for most people, it's not, obviously depending on, I guess restaurant industry, you see a lot of floating. You'll see people come in, you'll see people leave a lot. It just happens. It's kind of the crux of that industry. And, some people are hurting right now, and I get it. Some people want to get paid cash, and they want to, try to beat the system. They do. I mean, I used to, I'll be honest with you, when I was younger, I used to work a ton of jobs under the table. I never collected unemployment, but I worked jobs under the table. So. Zorbach says Hasbro then strong-armed these collectors, stating that if you don't back this, you wouldn't get this certain figure, or any other for other than 2 years. Really? Yeah, it's and that's all hogwash. We all know that if one of the Sentinels or Galactus were sitting on the shelf, we'd all buy it, because guess what? There's this toy company called Toy Biz that did this thing called Build-A-Figures. When they actually made actual real Build-A-Figures and not this bullshit that Hasbro makes. Real actual Build-A-Figures. And they were, 12 to 13 inches tall sometime. And, because I own the Galactus, he's sitting right there. And I just, I vaguely remember this company that used to exist. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, I just, it really baffles me that they use these excuses that they couldn't do a Sentinel as a build a figure. It's like you could have spread that shit over 2 waves and been done with it, as opposed to doing a HasLab product. And it's like it's like people still got the quality control of a build a figure that would have been spread over 2 waves, as opposed to a $400 Sentinel. You still got that product, the same quality that you would have got. And like people, I don't think would have been that upset about the knees if they just paid the build a figure price and not $400 plus shipping. And then, on top of that, if you want to return something, you have to pay shipping back to them. Yeah, they won't pay for shipping back. That's really bad business practices, because most even corporate other companies will at least pay for shipping back if something is defective or doesn't work. Perfect example, and this isn't even. Let me just move bats out of the way. This isn't even Big Bad Toy Store's product. But I'm sure if I contacted the Four Horsemen, they would say, hey, yeah, we'll fix that for you. Don't worry. This wing, and I'll show you right here, this little piece right here, came off of the 2 pieces snapped on the wing of Arethyr here. If you can see those 2 little pieces that snapped off, contact the Big Bad Toy Store, and they're sending a full replacement. They didn't have to do that. But they did. And they did the right thing. Take care of your customers, and your customers will come back to you. That's what you're supposed to do. It's nice to see that some companies actually care about their customers. It's nice to see that once in a while. you know? I agree, Brenda. Most companies don't want to do that. They really don't. Fandom costs 200. I know, right? Enrique says the major toy companies are really choosing to screw the fans and collectors of these figure lines, and then wonder why they aren't making money on certain other lines. Of course, yeah, absolutely. And just like Michael French said from Retro Blasting, I mean, you look at the Fortnite figures, and you better enjoy it while you guys have it. I don't think he knew this, but I put it in his comments. I was like, yeah, well, as of next year, Hasbro is going to own the product licensing for Fortnite. So wave goodbye to all those $20 vehicles that you are enjoying. Buy them up while you can now, because I guarantee it. You watch. Secondary market's going to go through the roof with all those cheaper vehicles and stuff. Once Hasbro gets a hold of it, and then they start pushing out their vehicles for $40 instead of 20. But people are still going to buy them. Of course they will. But yeah, enjoy it while you can, man. That's why whenever I see something like when the Core comes out with something, I'm always like, you know what? They make better products than Hasbro does. They really do. They really do. Joy Toy, I mean, even though it's a little bit more expensive, it's worth the price because you don't have to deal with their bullshit. Enrique says, I remember Toy Wiz back in the day, and they made some pretty good figures. Or Toy Biz. Toy Wiz is like a... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you meant Toy Biz. I got you. Toy Biz made some pretty good figures, and they did actually make it difficult to compete with some of the Build-A-Figures like Giant Man. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the thing. Like there has to be an evolution in an action figure line. So let's say we're talking about this Galactus from the Toy Biz era that I actually own. He's right here. He's right up there chilling like Matt Dillon on penicillin, right next to the Castle Grayskull. That's the Build-A-Figure Galactus, right? That existed way back in the mid 2000s, right? That existed back then. Okay, so if they could do a 12-inch Galactus back then, they're gonna do a 20. Let's say they just did that Galactus. You're telling me that they could not include those pieces of Galactus in a Build-A-Figure wave now in 2021. What's up, Andy? How you doing, buddy? Jim, how's it going? Jimbo. You're telling me that they couldn't make a Build-A-Figure to fit in the package, even if they're going to do it over 2 waves. They couldn't do that? You're telling me they couldn't do that? Oh, well, the torso would never fit. If you separate the torso, they did it with the other Build-A-Figures. You can do that. Put it with a deluxe figure. Make sure that you have a... Excuse me, I just pulled this camera all over the place. Put it with a deluxe figure. You can do that. They're coming out with the next wave of Fantastic Four figures. With that whole wave, they could have spread that wave out through the whole Fantastic Four wave and included all of those pieces within that wave. You could have put the Thing in a deluxe package with the upper torso, put the lower torso with, let's say, one of the Heralds, giving us the rest of the Heralds that were in the Kickstarter. That you had to. The only way we're going to do it is we're going to do it through the HasLab. Bullshit. Guarantee that those figures get released anyway. I promise you, because that's how they do things. They release figures regardless of what the exclusivity is. They've been doing that. A lot of people are still bitching about the Hellfire Club. I guarantee you they will still re-release the Hellfire Club without a doubt, because they went out of their way to get a new body mold just for the Hellfire Club, and I promise you they will re-release those figures. I promise you. I promise you. And they've done that with multiple other figures. Even the Star Wars Black Series line is notable for doing that. Absolutely 100% notable for doing that. The Boba Fett figure that came with the Han and Carbonite, which was just a piece of hollow plastic. Or maybe it wasn't hollow plastic. It was still hollow plastic. I'm sorry. What was it? The Han Solo on his Millennium Falcon that came with the Minok that got released regularly. Like, they can just continue to do this over and over again, where, oh, you can only get it here, and it'll never get made again. And that's all hogwash. It's all hogwash. Come on. Severely grow up. Andy, we're kind of talking about everything in general, the whole industry. We're not just talking about the HasLab. Well, we're talking about HasLab. I keep bringing it back up, but I'm kind of talking about a lot of different things. Just the corporate approach to pretty much everything nowadays. Enrique says, I actually was only able to complete the Sentinel from Toy Biz. All the other Build-A-Figures are from Hasbro. Well, I mean, you got the one that matters. Galactus is a good one, and Giant Man are the really good one. I actually have this Sentinel right here from the old Marvel Universe days, and that's just the one Sentinel I need. I don't need more. I don't need less. He's from the comics. It's the comic version. I'm good. I mean, how many Sentinels do you need? I've seen people with like 20 Sentinels, and I'm like, what are you doing with all of that? What do you need 20? Where are you putting 20 Sentinels? Are they all just standing next to each other uncomfortably in a detolf? What are you doing? I don't understand. Jim says, I'm still aggravated by Hasbro Pulse. They put up the Shield Agents and the Skrull Army builders today, and it sold out immediately. It's a pre-order. They haven't even made them yet. How are they sold out? Exactly. People have been saying that for years. How on top of that, how does Hasbro on Hasbro Pulse's own website sell out of a pre-order of a product that they make? Look at Mythic Legions, okay? Let's go back to this. When Mythic Legions is actually currently doing a pre-order right now. You can actually go pre-order a Cosmic Legion. And guess what? They give you a specific date from to and from. So from about, what was it? I think it was like a few days ago, like 3 or 4 days ago, they said they started the pre-order. From then all the way till the end of October, you have to pre-order whatever items you want, whether it's all of them, whether it's one of them, whether it's whatever. You have this window. And Mythic Legions, the Four Horsemen, is a smaller company than Hasbro. Okay? They don't sell out of any pre-order. After that date is over, then that's it. They don't take any more pre-orders. Those are the orders that were taken. These are the people that want them, and that's it. Why on earth is any company selling out of a toy the date of the pre-order dropping? There's no excuse. There's absolutely, positively no excuse for it. Period. And if you want to use the excuse, oh, well, they only have a specific amount made for, because this is their target audience, and bullshit. Bullshit. They know that these figures sell hand over fist to people, especially, this is nothing new with any Marvel Legends collectors. They buy the shit, especially if it's an army builder, and they know that they're going to buy a bunch of them, so make them readily available for everyone. Why don't they still, to this date, I've been saying this for years, Strident has been saying this for years, a lot of people that I've known and had discussions about toys have been saying this for years. Why don't you make Army Builder 3-packs or 4-packs or 2-packs or whatever? Continue to do that. If you're going to do an Army Builder, do that. Make them readily available. It's just stupidity. It's absolute stupidity. It's people that don't know how to do their jobs properly aren't doing their jobs. And they're trying to be cost effective. Bullshit. It's not about being cost effective. It's about this new thing called hype. And they love having the hype. Well, we sold out of this many units, so... and they could tell their boss, and then they look great for selling out those units. Well, then there's so much hype, we could probably even make more. Well, if you would have made more to begin with, you probably would have sold more, which then means you would have made more money right away. Instead of selling out 20,000 units, I'm using that as an example, selling out 20,000 or 50,000 units in 20 minutes, you could have sold 200,000 units in 2 days. It's just dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb people that have jobs that they don't deserve. And they're taking away jobs from people that actually have an idea or a thought process or a new design or something that's original. You also notice nowadays that there's nothing original being made. Why is that? And I'm only talking about the big companies because you see stuff like Mythic Legions, which is essentially the grown-up adult version of Motu. And I'm talking big companies when I'm saying this because all the big companies just continue to make the same old shit. Oh, they got this license, or they buy that license, or they buy this license, or they buy that, or they're going to resurrect an old dead license. Like, it's there's nothing original being made. And when you see toys 20 years from now or 15 years from now, you're going to be like, so what new was made back in the 2010s or the 2020s? Oh, a whole bunch of nothing. Because we just don't have anything. We just have the regurgitated shit that we grew up with. Which is nice and all to have here and there, but how much of that stuff do we need? How much of the same old stuff do we need? And the people wonder why I collect Joy Toy stuff. People are like, oh, why are you into that? What do you mean, why am I into that? Because it's something different. When was the last time you saw a toy company make full-on display play sets like this? When was the last time you saw a toy company do that? The 80s with G.I. Joe? The 80s with G.I. Joe? Almost 40 years ago? Uh-huh. Pretty much. Greg says pre-orders on the actual main company website shouldn't sell out during a pre-order period. Now, when a third-party seller having not sure allotments. I'm sorry, I couldn't. He says so. Let me reread this. Pre-orders on an actual main website for a company website should not sell out during the pre-order process. Now, on a third-party seller, yeah, that's completely understandable. Third-party seller, if they sell out, they only are getting so many orders. That I understand. But when it's Hasbro's main site, yeah, you done screwed up. And I'm telling you, they're doing this on purpose because they love the hype. They love, they're enthralled with the hype. They can't get enough of it. And that's the real enemy of all of this is the hype train. The hype train is never what you expect. So if you just keep that as a mantra for yourself and let yourself know that this figure is not going to be exactly what I expected it, but it's going to be something that's a decent representation of that character. And try to be more picky. You know, I'm speaking to you. I mean, we're all adults here. I don't need to be speaking to you guys like your children because you're not. And I'm not speaking to really the people that are subbed to me. I'm speaking to the newbies, or I'm speaking to the people that don't know any better. I'm trying to help. This is a helping process. I'm a very genuine guy. You guys know this bullshit. I don't have to keep repeating it over and over again. You know? Hasbro feeds scalpers. They could stop scalping, but don't. Yeah, they could. They could make things more available. Absolutely. I mean, they could. They have the ability to do all of that. You know? Sometimes they'll re-release figures that were hard to get, and sometimes they just don't. You know? It's I mean, I've seen Mythic Legions come up with a better business product than Hasbro does. I mean, they know Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen knew for long periods of time that after Wave 1 came out, that people were scalping the shit out of them. So they were like, you know what? We're going to start doing All-Star Waves. And they've been doing our All-Star Waves for a while now. And they even have people get involved with it. They have fan voting and stuff like that. And that's cool. To some degree, it's cool. I like it. To other things, I feel like if you could release, I would say take the core characters and release them. That's what I would do. I feel like characters like Otho should have got a re-release. He's very difficult to get. But, you know, they still have a better business model than Hasbro does. And better customer relations than Hasbro does. You know? I mean, look at what they own. They own Marvel. They own Transformers. They own G.I. Joe. They own... what else? Power Rangers. You know... They just got Fortnite, which means they're going to make even more money. Really, the only big product that they don't have is what? Ninja Turtles and DC? That's pretty much it. Well, they don't have wrestling figures, but I don't think they care about wrestling. I really don't think they give a shit. And they have Star Wars, too. Like, what else do you need to make money for yourself? You know those licenses are always going to make money, so make the products steadily available for people. Death Row Records? They got that Suge Knight fucking swagger. Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, Marvel, Joe's, Transformers, Fortnite, Star Wars. Yeah, Greg's got it. You know. They own it all. They've cornered the market. They pretty much almost have a monopoly. If they ever get their hands on DC and Ninja Turtles, I mean that's a wrap. You can't shit. That's a wrap right there. That is a wrap. It's over, you know, at that point. Oh, you were saying they own Death Row Records? Are you serious? No. I didn't know that. Are you screwing with me? That yes, you are screwing with me, or yes, they actually own it because I'm about to look that up. Enrique says one of the major issues are the store exclusives, only available at Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and they have little in stock. Always annoys the f out of me. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I feel you. Don't pardon your friends. You let that shit loose. I don't care if I swear like a sailor. So you can just say whatever you want. We're all adults here, you know. Andy says Silver Surfer is my favorite character and would love to have Galactus, but can't get behind doing the Kickstarter model. I feel you. Just get the build a figure, man. It's not as big, but I mean, how big do we need a damn Galactus to be? Everyone's so obsessed with scale. It's like if you're going to take photos of these anyway, right? And you have the build a figure Galactus, you can just position him to look like he's supposed to look. Do we need everything to be in scale? Like an actual in scale Galactus would have to be like 5 feet tall anyway to be in scale with a Marvel Legend. Like he's supposed to be big enough to consume an entire planet. He'd probably have to be taller than that. He'd probably have to be like 6'1" like me. But like shit. They actually own Death Row Records. That's hysterical. They do own Death Row. That is hilarious. HolloNet says, unfortunately, they got all the stuff I like. I mean, they got a lot of stuff I like too, but I mean, like I just put Transformers down. I'm only buying third party shit. That's it. I'm not buying Hasbro stuff anymore. I'm done. This was the last one I got. Was Trax, and he's actually pretty good. He's pretty cool. I like the transformation's a little convoluted, but boy, that's insane that they own Death Row Records. That's so funny. They do own Death Row. And that's the other thing. Like Hasbro's obsessed with constantly. Like they don't want to. And you watch. Quote me now. You watch. They're gonna start putting their toys on the back burner. Hasbro so badly wants to be Disney. They so badly want to be Disney. They really want to be Disney. Like they want to produce movies and do all that stuff. They are so obsessed with wanting to be Disney that they're gonna watch. You watch. They're gonna start putting their figures on the back burner even more so. Watch. How's the bat cycle? It's really good. It's a really good cycle. So, I like I said, I do plan on doing a full review. The tires are rubber. They are definitely a rubber. They even have, I mean, obviously it's not going to have the most paint detail on it, but there is like a black wash going on throughout here, which is pretty cool. Thank you, Enrique. I appreciate that. But the feature is cool. You can shorten this if you want to. You can extend it out. I personally, I'm probably going to leave it extended out. You know, it just looks so much better that way. A lot of people are complaining about the rivets here, or the sorry, the screw holes. I don't care. This was a $16 purchase for me. Originally, I think it's like 22 bucks. So, and you can get it on Amazon right now. You can get a next day delivery. So, I think the bat cycle is really good. It's simple. It just needs to roll. And listen how quiet this rolls. It's fantastic. How do you beat this? I don't know. I'm hoping and I'm praying that he actually comes out with an actual bat mobile. I would adore a. I have the animated series Batmobile still, and I'm very glad that I hung on to that because the prices that it goes for now is holy Toledo crazy. Same thing with the Batwing. I wish I would have just got a damn Batwing when I had the chance. Maybe we'll get a Batwing from McFarlane. McFarlane does it. He loves to do. He loves to do the opposite of what other companies do and piss other companies off, which I love about that. A lot of people give him flack for, oh yeah, his figures look like statues and blah 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 and all that stuff. But at least the guy can come out with a figure, a $20 figure, keep it at $20 price point, and come out with $20 vehicles. Like, not a lot of companies will do that nowadays. The Core will, Fortnite from Jazzwares will, for now, and McFarlane will, because he just doesn't give a shit. And I love it. I love it. Keep this up. Keep this up. And it doesn't, like, this doesn't even need to be anything crazy. It's just a big bike. And it looks great. And it can go with any Batman. It doesn't have to be specific to this the McFarlane ones. It works with your Mezcos. It works with anything. You know? Like, you can literally put this with any Batman display. There's not even really a Batman logo on the whole damn thing. Like, I don't see one Batman logo on this entire thing. Maybe you can kind of call this a little bit of a Batman logo right here. But the whole thing is just like, it's a bat cycle, So I think it's quality. But, stay tuned for the review. I'm going to do a full review on it. Holland says, all my vehicles have screw holes too. Yeah, I don't give a shit about screw holes. It doesn't bother me one bit. I mean, if you want to customize it, you could always just put some, what you call it? What's that called? Epoxy, and paint it. So if that bothers you that much. Greg says, ODC, would you want to drive a bike like that? The exhaust locations seem impractical. I mean, this is a comic book design, so a lot of things are impractical in comics. Yeah, you definitely don't want hot-ass exhaust ports right here by your knee. I totally understand that from a gearhead perspective. I'm really into cars. I love working on cars. I used to work on cars all the time. This would not probably make the most sense right here. This would have to go around or underneath and back, and you wouldn't have this many stacks. And you have stacks on both sides. So it wouldn't make sense for this to happen. You would probably need them probably somewhere on the back cycle, but this is comic book design, so I'm not too worried about it. But I feel you though, Greg. I do. I feel you. Enrique says, I have not gotten into Joy Toy because I haven't gotten into the figures themselves. The weapons, on the other hand, pique my interest. I spent a pretty penny on the eBay, but I've got some. I'm just saying, give it a shot, Like, if you're not into the futuristic stuff, they sell the modern military stuff. I think there's a pre-order up right now on Locker Toys for the new SEAL team. There's like a 3-man team for a SEAL team. And they're doing more of their modern look. You don't have to get the futuristic stuff you don't want to. Like I said, they sold like SEAL Team 6. They have a recon team. They have a whole bunch of sets that aren't anything to do with futuristic stuff. They have the futuristic stuff too, if that's what you want to. They have the mechs, they have vehicles, they have tons of stuff that you can choose from. And the paint detail on just these 3 3/4 inch figures are better than any of the paint detail on any Marvel Legend, like ever. Period. Yeah, this Bat Cycle is pretty awesome. And like I said, like 22, $24. It's worth it. But he puts out nothing we want like Infected Shazam. I agree. I don't want Infected Shazam. Just give me a good Shazam too. I agree 100% with that. Dial Love. I agree. I would like more traditional looks. He's doing a lot of what's going on in the comics now, and I get that's relevant. And he's doing a lot of his own designs too, and I get that. He's kind of always that's how Todd's always been. He's kind of always been like, I want to do my own thing, and I don't give a shit if people don't like it or not. I'm going to do it. But when you're selling a license like, and you could do that with Spawn. Like if he wants to do that with Spawn, that's his baby. Go do that. And we're finally starting to get Spawn figures. I just got the Redeemer recently. He's pretty awesome. There's a lot of issues with the wings being so damn heavy he can barely stand. That's gonna probably be in the review. But if he wants to go nuts with Spawn, go nuts with Spawn. I don't have a problem with that. But when it comes to my DC stuff, I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like give us some traditional looks too, because we're yearning for that. Especially when it comes to Shazam, he's like my top 3 characters. Greg says one gripe I have, excuse me, with McFarlane is his use of variants. Yeah, having different heads and bam, that's a new figure. No new paint scheme or accessories. It's just a variant. Well, I mean, yeah, I get that from a certain perspective. Like he does a lot of the unmasked versions, which I don't care for. Um, it's technically not a. It's more of a niche thing that he does with some of those releases. But I will say this: most of those releases that are unmasked are usually like a store exclusive. So that I don't mind. If you're like you're going to do an exclusive, do fine. Store exclusive, online exclusive. You want to do that shit until you're blue in the face? Go ahead. When it comes to a regular release and you're doing unmasked variants, that pisses me off. Don't do that shit. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, the front retracting I think looks the best with this them guts. I mean, you could shorten it. I still think you can get away with that. Like if you're trying to do like maybe a I don't know, something a little smaller for a different scale. I guess you could go with it a little shorter, but if extending it, I think it looks the best. It really does. No Starfire or Raven. Yeah, I feel ya. I feel you, Kyle. Oh, you're going to New York Comic Con? Nice, man. I haven't gone since what 2000. What was that? Oh God, I'm trying to think back. I think it might have been 2013 was the last time I went to New York Comic Con. It was a while ago. It was a long time ago. It was when I met up with Olivia and what was it? Automatica. But yeah, I mean, you could still buy it. You don't have to wait to New York Comic Con, Enrique. You can pretty much pick it up off of Amazon. Let me see what the prices are on Amazon for it. My tablet keeps automatically swiveling when I don't want it to swivel. It's really annoying. There we go. $24.99 Prime. You can get it by Thursday the 16th. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. And if you have a Amazon card, you can earn points and stuff. They screwed up one of my orders. Something came in delayed, like 4 days delayed when I was supposed to get it the next day for a birthday gift, and so they gave me like $10 off. So I ended up getting it for $16. But Brenda, what's going on? And she says, yes, I'm yearning for DC to make some other known figures like Halo, Geoforce, Robot Man, etc. Yeah, man, I definitely would love me some Doom Patrol. I feel like the more and more McFarlane starts to get in, and I feel like if he came out with like maybe because he's got the multiverse line, and maybe if he did a multiverse line that would make sense as far as branding went, but kind of like what WWE does with like flashbacks. If you did like if he did like a flashback subline within the multiverse line, right? So you got your DC regular McFarlane ones that touch on all the modern stuff, and then you'll have your like flashback or classic line, right? Where it's still under that multiverse banner, but it's called the classic version for that figure. And you just do all classic versions. And it doesn't have to be as classic as, like the DCUC Kirby designs, which, DCUC was special that way, where we got that Jack Kirby look. And it was just so awesome. We still got some modern stuff in the later lines, but for the most part, it was that classic Kirby design. But if they did like pre-New 52 stuff, like that was like the really gritty, good stuff. Like, what was it? The Mezco Catwoman that they came out with is a fantastic design. It's definitely that pre-New 52 design where she had the goggles on her head and they were green and she had the full cat ear look. And, not everybody was wearing Timbs and sneakers that were Robins. They actually looked like they wore a Robin suit. Um, not running around with Chuck Taylors and shit, which is stupid to me. I don't know. It just looks stupid. If they did that pre-New 52, like classic look, I feel like that would be the selling point for a lot of us collectors. And, Todd McFarlane's an adult collector himself, so he likes figures like that too. I don't see why he couldn't do that. Maybe he doesn't like that idea, but maybe he hasn't been given that idea yet. What Batman is this? This is the Mezco Sovereign Knight MDX Onyx version. It's Onyx because of the shiny black throughout the suit. This was one version I really wanted to get just because it really has that breakup. It's got the gold belt here. Everything else is black, but it's got that 89 Batman logo right there. Or at least the 89 or 92 logo. I know people get very specific with the 89 logo. Let me just compare it really quick. Sorry if I'm bumping the microphone. So it's a little bit different, but it's more that traditional, like I want to say early '90s comic book, all black Batman look, where you can tell the '89 logo is a little bit more, I don't know, skinnier here. Maybe this is closer to like the '92 Batman Returns look, where it got a little bit less. How do I say? It looks very edgy here when it comes to the wings. Like the wings are very pointy when it comes down here, and then you've got a lot of these swirls right here, and then you've got two swirls on the bottom, two kind of kick-in swirls with a pointy tail tip here. That's a little bit of the difference, but how do you not see the obviously the design carried over here. It's all black. You can tell he's wearing armor. There's even armor stitched right here for the ab designs right here, and it's yellow with a black bat logo, and then he's got a gold belt just like here. I mean, it's very similar to that. But in the comics for a while in the 90s, you know, he did wear a suit that was very similar to this. So and I always wanted that representation. And also we have he's also very similar to the 89 toy with the cape. And I always loved that was like one of my favorite Batman figures growing up, after, especially during that whole movie time, for the 89 Batman movie. Grab that. Where is that? What did I do with it? What did I do with that figure? I put it away. Nope, no, there it is. All right. So Mattel, there we go. Mattel made this figure, which was based on that old, what was it, 90 or 89 Batman look with the belt that used to disattach, and it was the supposed to be his, what you call it, grapnel. And then we've got the actual grapple gun here. Recreation of the entire 89 figure from that movie, just in a little updated body. So that's pretty much what I kind of, when people ask me, I think it's kind of like a combination of like the old figure, not this figure particularly, but the old figure, the 89 Batman, kind of that amalgamation. That combination of figures kind of came out with this Mezco figure. So it's still a really good figure, even that 89 figure. And that Mattel one's really good too. Oh, and everyone just fell over. Stop falling over, sir. There we go. Okay. I got some issues with Arathier here. He's like got to hunch him forward to even out the wings because they're kind of heavy. Well, that's a different review for a different time, you know. ODC, my night just became golden. Just finished watching NXT, and I'm happy as a pig in shit. All right. I have not. I don't know anything that's going on there, so I'm not sure what's going on. And then we've got. It's definitely a good figure. Pre-new 52. Pre-new 52 JSA. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what this is. That's a good call, Andy. Greg says, "Don't get me wrong. I love variants. I want it to be enough of a change to warrant it. The new paint, a new paint job, etc., like Hasbro did with Agent Anti-Venom or Punisher War Machine." Yeah, I gotta say that definitely I agree with it. It's gotta be enough of a change. Like just putting a new head on and coming out with the exact same figure does not warrant that. What I've always preached, excuse me, is just do one release. You don't need to do a variant. I feel like chase variants are just really just an old timey way of doing things when it comes to figures. Just do an Ultimates version. Just if you're gonna re-release the same figure, do one with the masked head and do one with the unmasked head, and give extra accessories and just call it an Ultimates version. Just like very similar to what NECA has been doing. I don't really like a lot of stuff that NECA does business practice wise and quality control stuff, but I want to say when they do release a figure, or re-release a figure, excuse me, they tend to give an Ultimates version, which makes a lot more sense in the long run as far as that goes. So, because then you're getting everything that you could ever want. Like a lot of their Ultimate Predators, they have everything. I could not ask for one more thing. I don't need another thing from an Ultimate Predator, and I have lots of the Predator figures. So, Brenda says Enrique, in my opinion, NXT is better than WWE now. I mean, all WWE really has is Roman Reigns. That's about it. You know, they brought Brock Lesnar back, and who gives a shit at this point? I don't know why people care about Brock Lesnar anymore. Oh, but he's a babyface now. Great. Who cares? I'm sure he doesn't want to be a babyface. Brock was never a good babyface. Period. So, yeah. I don't know. I've been slowly getting back into watching pro wrestling again. I've been mostly watching AEW for obvious reasons. CM Punk is there. Bryan Danielson is there. They've just got all the momentum. So why wouldn't you want to watch that? You know. Personally, I always like to watch the better product. WWE has not touched any of the feels for me in a long time, and that's why I gave a 2 year hiatus from watching anything current. I just don't. I just simply do not care about anything that's going on in WWE. And I'm a big AJ Styles fan, and I just don't care. I just don't care to watch. AEW is outdoing WWE. I agree. They are. They have all the momentum. Andy says any of the Motoon Origins figures you're looking forward to. Did you get to pre-order Sunman? If you want him anyway, I would like to pre-order him. I'm kind of slowing down on the Motu stuff just because, as far as the Motu Origin stuff, I essentially, other than Hordak, he's the only one I don't have. I'd like to get Beastman and Hordak, and then I'm good on the Origins line. I have Castle Grayskull. I have Fisto, which was a big deal for me. That's the first Fisto I've ever owned since I was like, what, 4 years old. Every time I've had an opportunity to get a Fisto figure, it's just never worked out. The Motu Classics figure goes for like $500, and that's not even like sane pricing. I did pre-order. I had to go and pre-order and make sure I was getting the Revelations Fisto, and so that'll be my 7-inch version. So I have my classic-looking one, and then I'll have my modern-looking one, and that Revelations one will just have to fit in with my Origins or my classic stuff. But as far as the Origins line, like I said, I got He-Man, I got She-Ra. As far as the good guys go, I've got Man at Arms and Manny Faces and Clam Champ and the Sorceress that came with the Castle Grayskull. So I'm good on the good guy side. The bad guy side, I'd like to get like one or two more. Like I said, Hordak would be nice. Beastman and trying to think. I have Trapjaw. So I have Skeletor, Trapjaw, and Evelyn. And that's pretty much it on the bad guy side. But I'm trying to slow down on that line just because A, space wise, I'm running out of space. B, I have more Mythic Legions than I do Motu. And I just like to continue focusing on Mythic Legions as opposed to Motu stuff. Motu classes I do have it's slim, but I have the figures I really, really want. I have all the versions of Hordak I want, the Buzzsaw one, the regular version, and I have the Hurricane Hordak. So I'm pretty good with Hordaks. I would still I think the only a Grail figure for me would be Battle Armor He-Man from the Motu Classics line. That's a Grail figure for me now. Absolutely. Or a Grail figure also would be the Classics Fisto. I think that's a Grail figure for me too. But I just don't want to spend that exorbitant amount of money. on essentially what was a sub $30 figure. I would be perfectly fine with just getting He-Man, Skeletor, Evelyn, and Tilo. Yeah, I mean, just yeah, do that. It was sold out when I tried to get Sunman. Oh, okay. Well, then I'm skipping Sunman then. Which Gray Skull is that? ODC Origins? Yes, it's the Origins one. I think it's a really good set, a very good set. My girlfriend bought me that this year for my birthday. She pre-ordered it on my birthday, which was very nice of her, and we actually got it cheaper. Walmart had pre-orders up for I think available for about a 2 or 3 days, and they were sold out after that, and they were selling it for only like I think it was like $70 at the time. So we got it for $70, and I waited and waited and waited forever, and didn't end up getting it until like what was it, end of June, going into July. Finally, I got it. And then once I got it, it's a good set. I think it's a nice little update from the original. I think the paint apps are much better on this, and yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's a great set. I would still use my classics with them. I don't care if it's underscaled or not. I'll still use my classics with that. Greg wants to know if I saw the Marvel Legends Hercules. Wait, oops, my camera's all crooked. Sorry. Come on. Oops. What just happened to my chat? There we go. He wants to know if I didn't see. I'm sorry. He says if I didn't see the Marvel Legends Hercules, works really well with the Revelations He-Man accessories and Battle Cat. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. I did pick up the modern-looking Hercules that came out a few years ago, and I pre-ordered the classic-looking one because I don't know, I just love that classic comic book look. I'm always gonna lean towards that classic comic book look over the modern look. It's just I don't know who I am. I love how he's a part of Motu now. Yep, the Sunman. Yeah, I'd like to pick him up, but he's sold out, man. I'm not gonna cry and whine over it. I guess there's nothing really I can do about it. HoloNet says I only get Origins for the vehicles and beasts, not paying for classic prices. But most of the Origins figures are like $15 though. Obviously, I know they have their issues with being sold in stores, being available. Check Amazon. I've picked up the majority of them. I think, what was it? I got Trapjaw off of Amazon for what the regular retail $15 price. What was it? I picked up Fisto for he was actually on sale for $12.99, which was surprising. And what was it? Manny Faces I got from Joe Fest. So I mean, you can find them. You're just not going to be able to find them in stores. You either got to pre-order them from like Big Bad Toy Store or one of the websites, or definitely check the Amazon. The Amazon. I'm saying Amazon funny, let's see. Some of the prices have gone pretty crazy, but their vehicles have been pretty steadily priced. $30 for the Land Shark, $24 for the Sky Sled. Because I'm looking at them right now. Panther is $20. What was it? Oh, you can get the Castle Grayskull set right now on Amazon for $74.99. There you go. You can get that shit right now. I'm not even joking. It's right there. Goes and get it. Yeah, some of the figures that you can get, Merman, he's available. You can still get Clamp Champ, he's available for around the retail price, or a little bit more, I think. Yeah, a little bit more. I don't know. Clamp Champ's actually a better deal than Merman, which makes no sense. Battle Armor He-Man's up there for retail. There's some of them are a little bit more than retail. Obviously, these are $15, $16 figures. I don't want to spend $30. I wouldn't spend $30 on that crappy fake or. Was it? Tila's went up in price. Why? I don't understand that. She was like a $9 figure for forever. Yeah, so I mean, some of them you're right. So most of these are up in price, which is stupid. Evil Lynn's 15. Yeah. Battle Cat's 20. Yeah. Oop, sorry about that. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Good night, Brenda. Have a great night. Thanks, Brenda. I appreciate that. I'm glad. It's nice to catch up with all of you too, and just kind of shoot the shit. And I didn't want to end the whole video on just like me bitching. So I did want to just chat with you guys and enjoy because I always have fun talking to everybody. You grabbed Merman, Fisto, and Evil Lynn yesterday. Nice. Nice. Yeah, they're really fun figures, and the fact that they're all modular is fantastic. So if you wanted to you know, beat the crap out of those figures, I feel like those figures, like the Motu figures, like you can play with those figures. Like it's not like a Mezco figure. We can't really you can play with it, but you can't play with it. You can't whip a Mezco figure or drop a Mezco figure down the flight of stairs and expect that thing to look still good after it's fallen. you know. Same thing with like a Mythic Legion. Like you don't want to drop those down the stairs. Those are gonna crack and break. But the Origins figures, you could actually give those to a kid and they can play with them. They could bang them up against the wall. And if an arm pops off, you can pop it right back in. Did I pick up the Cyborg Soldier from Joy Toy? Oh, did I? Oh, but I did. He is chilling. Where did I put him? Where did I put him? Where did I put him? Where is he? Let's see. Oh, here he is. Sorry, my stupid fingers were in the way. Yes, I did. I picked him up. He is pretty dope. Like I said, I have him. I have pieces. Right. I have which is essentially the maintenance mech, which I just keep calling the power loader, just because it looks like a goddamn power loader. Uh, and I did pick up the ATV, which definitely check out Woodman 29's video. He did the Wildcat ATV, but mine will be coming up soon. I might do the mech and the Wildcat all in one video. And then I did pick up this 3-pack, which I've been kind of putting off on, which was the 3rd Legion Interstellar Trooper set. This is actually a really nice set here. So I might do him by himself, just because I want to spend some time talking about him. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, that's what I picked up from Joy Toy lately. I just got those last week. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these, with my Mezco bats and my Joy Toys the last week or so. So. Let's see. Holonet says I should have gotten the Sky Sleds at the $5 clearances. Damn. Oh, 7. Sorry, not 5. $7. Yeah, what was it? The other day I went to Ollie's and they had all these Marvel Legends for $6. I mean, most of them I what was it? just didn't care to get. But like for what was it? My stepson, he really wanted a few, and I was like, all right, we'll get you that. They had like the what was it? The Luke Cage 2 pack. So that was like $12. And I'm like, damn, that's originally like a $40 price right there. So sometimes there's really good deals out there, you know. But every time they that you have the money to get a Joy Toy Delta Force set, they end up being sold out. Uh, I don't think this. I don't know if Locker Toy still sells them. Check Small Joe's. They might have them. I'll check right now. Smalljoes.com. Let's see what we got here. Got the Ninth Legion. Small Joe's usually has stuff that's been sold out on other websites for a while, which is good. It's nice to have that, you know. Also, you can check out Big Boy Collectibles too. They might have them. Skeleton, skeleton, skeleton. Yep, they're right here. They are chilling for you, sir. Right there. Small Joe's, right there. Go for it. There's the Delta set. So. I don't have an Ollie's. Where am I? Yeah, definitely check out that Small Joe's, bro. They got you covered. And their shipping's really fast. They do a really good job with shipping, and they're respectable e-tailer. So, but with that, I'm going to end this here. I've been going on long enough here. But like I said, I wanted to do this video just because I wanted to get a lot of shit off my chest and give some perspective on the, you know, poor business practices of larger companies and the excuses that they make, which are completely unnecessary and uncalled for, and no one should be buying into that bullshit. I know a lot of you don't buy into it. Like I said, I'm mostly speaking to the people that keep buying into it. Just let's cut the crap here, man. Stop making excuses for companies, you know. But like I said, this is just a good way to vent, get things out there, and hopefully this helps somebody, you know. Hopefully, but I'm gonna stop it here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's awesome just chatting with you guys, enjoying things, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great night. I'm gonna try and get another review done. I had like 2 videos done, and I accidentally deleted them like an idiot. So I'm gonna go back and redo those, and hopefully they're just as good as the first time I did them. But that's gonna be pretty much it for me. Like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you to everybody who chimed in, gave me came in to just hang out and shoot the shit and give me their perspectives as well, which I always like doing. And yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side.